Michael here with another Michael's Guitar Reviews. You can probably tell I'm not alone. My trusty assistant. Right, today we have, yes we do, today we have a jazzy archtop guitar. This one's made by either, you can call it Ibanez, Ibanez, it's up to you. It's a part of the Artcore series of guitars, of which there are a number. This particular one's the AF 75 TDG. AF 75 TDG. It's got the tremolo. They don't all come with one of these. It's an optional extra. Quite how much you might use it depends on what kind of music you're playing. I guess if you're playing rockabilly stuff, you will use it. But let's go from the top and work our way down, shall we? We've got a nice, very nice shaped headstock with the logo on the front there. These have got, this particular model's got gold plated hardware as well, which gives it that extra bit of jazzy bling. Let's have a look now. A few things to say about these models. They were initially made in China in about the year 2000, 2002. Then that production changed in 2016, I think it was, to Indonesia. This one's one of the early ones, and the reason I mention this is because you'll be aware of the CITES regulations on the use of rosewood. Because rosewood has been an endangered species, alternatives were sought. Now this is a rosewood fingerboard, but from about 2019, possibly 20, they started to use laurel for the fingerboards, and then after that they went to walnut until at least 2023. Now a little bit more about this guitar. I've got a medium C profile neck. You'll be able to see that the whole guitar has been covered in paint. I'm trying to say that kindly, but a little more about that later. It's been painted, it's all creamy. Yeah, okay, let's stay on the top for a little while. It has a truss rod, of course. One thing I want to mention is the nut, and I'm just going to see if you can see that, but the nut has been cut too deeply. And one of the issues that can lead to is buzzing of the strings. So ideally they should be just that slightly proud of the top surface of the nut. Some of these strings are actually deep inside, which isn't great. Back to the fingerboard, we've got these block inlays, which are kind of pearloid material, lots of them, and they've got corresponding dot markers on the side of the neck. And there's also this kind of ivory coloured binding as well, both sides. The frets are finished reasonably well. There's no particular sharpness about any of them. It's got a set fixed neck, and it's got 22 frets. However, most of the top ones here are redundant because you can't really get to them, not comfortably. You'd have to take your hand off and go around there. So it's a bit kind of, maybe a bit more to do with the aesthetics rather than the practicalities. It is of course a single cutaway. It's got F holes. This is a hollow bodied guitar as well. So some have a piece of wood that goes all the way through. This particular one has a piece of wood that goes all the way through, but not all the way depth. So it actually has a slice of wood underneath, but that piece of wood does not go throughout from the front to back. If you know. The rest of it's hollow, so that gives you some alternative sounds, and also means that you can play it and hear it without being amplified if you want as well. It's got the twin Ibanez or Ibanez humbucker type pickups. These have got, again, like all the hardware, sort of gold plated, and these are adjustable. There are little screws at the side, you can bring them up or take them down. It's got what's called a tune-o-matic type bridge. I don't know if you can see that. This particular one has a nice feature, and that is on the top of the bridge saddle there's a roller. So rather than just a single piece of metal over which the string's going to rub, This has got a roller, so it's got a more smooth progression when the string's tightened or loosened, or when you're bending notes, for example, or using the vibrato. There's a wood base to the bridge. The bridge is very adjustable. You can adjust it by use of these two knurled nuts either side, and also there are some little screws here which for some reason are at this side of the bridge rather than that side. That side would make them more easily accessible, but they all seem to go for it being at this side for some reason. This one's just been restrung and had the frets polished and lemon oil put on the fingerboard. A little bit more about that in a minute. One thing I do want to mention before we go any further is when you're restringing these, it's really awkward because the peg around which the little loop of the end of the string fits is tucked away in a very awkward place. So if you are going to restring them, just bend the string end so that it'll come back on itself and allow you to hook it onto the little peg. Just makes life a little easier, otherwise you'll spend a long time trying to get the thing connected and it will be very frustrating. Another thing I want to say about is this. This is a design flaw, if ever there was one. Three-way selector switch, but you know, why put it under there? Why not there? There's nothing there. Stick it there, it's easy to get to. But they put it there and it's in the wrong place as far as I'm concerned. Volume tone, volume tone. This one for that pickup, that one for this pickup. The vibrato I mentioned earlier, it tucks out of the way. It's just a very simple mechanism with a big spring underneath here. Press it down and it relieves the pressure off the string. Plastic pick guard. Overall, it is a bit plasticky, to be honest. It's a bit plasticky. The laminated top is quite thick. It is really quite thick. But this finish is just, it's soulless. It's soulless. I'd like to see a bit more wood. I think guitars need to be a bit more sort of wood looking really. But anyway, there we are. That's just me. And it's also got some neat binding around both the front and the back all the way around. That's really tidy and neat, very nice indeed. And of course it's an arched top guitar, so we've got this at the top and at the back. This one as well has got some interesting sculpting here. It's very raised just about there and then dips down again here and here. Don't know why they do that, but anyway, there we are. So what else can I say about this guitar? Now, just to talk a little bit about when it was restrung. Lemon oil is actually lemon scented oil, and what it does when you put it on the fingerboard is some of it will soak in and some of it will just dry. So clearly you need to make sure plenty of it has soaked in. So when you put it on with a soft cloth, before you replace the strings, make sure you give it time to soak in and then dry. If you wipe it off straight away, it will limit how much will go into the wood itself. And the whole idea is that it retains some of the lemon oil to keep it moist. Another thing is, and I have mentioned this in another video, if you're restringing a guitar, don't just restring it without polishing the frets. They need polish. They get a lot of moisture on them from fingering and just dust and dirt general. So what you need to do is, and I, rightly or wrongly, I use toothpaste on a soft cloth, put a tiniest little bit of toothpaste on, rub it firmly onto the top of the fret and around the edges, do a few of them, then make sure that you polish all that off so that it's right back to shiny, clean fret metal, and you'll find that they'll be beautifully shiny and nice and smooth, so when you're bending strings it feels like new. So that's a little trick. I'm not saying I'm right, but it works. You can get proprietary substances, of course, to use for cleaning frets, but I find that works absolutely fine, so long as you make sure you polish the remaining compound off afterwards. But it's perfect. Okay, what does it sound like? Let's start with the neck pickup with the tone control turned all the way around to the anti-clockwise bassy side, and then we'll move around to try some of the other sounds. So here we are, neck pickup, tone selected for bass. Right, let's turn that rotary tone control all the way around now, fully clockwise to give us a more trebly sound, still on the neck pickup. Okay, let's take the pickup selector now all the way down, and we're now on the bridge pickup with the tone selection round to the bassier side, anti-clockwise. Bridge pickup, anti-clockwise, bassier sound. Okay, let's turn the rotary tone control all the way around now clockwise for the maximum treble sound. And now blend the two pickups together with the pickup selector in the centre, and we'll have both tone controls fully round anti-clockwise to give us a more bassy sound. Now we'll turn the rotary tone control just for the bridge pickup fully clockwise for more treble on the bridge pickup, more bass on the neck pickup. And now I'll turn the rotary tone control all the way clockwise for maximum treble on the neck pickup. So both pickups now blended together, both with the treble setting. So what's the verdict? Well, it's a not too expensive guitar for this type of guitar. It's versatile in terms of the tone that you can get, very wide tonal range. It feels stable, it's nicely balanced, so we're not getting any movement this way. It's a lightweight guitar, so if you're playing it live, for example, you're not going to get neck or shoulder problems, or you're less likely to because it's not so heavy. The problems are with things like access to the upper frets. That all just seems to be a little bit not great in terms of design. This also, where the three-way selector switch is, that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So that needs to go there. The vibrato unit, very much an optional extra. It depends whether that's what you like or don't like, whether it's worth getting one. It obviously adds to the weight as well of the guitar overall. But I think on balance, apart from the fact that it's got a rather soulless and plasticky kind of ambience, it is a nice guitar. It feels nice. The action on this one's set quite low, so it's got a nice pleasant light action. And I think overall it's a reasonable guitar for the price. Anyway, this is Michael's Guitar Reviews. Again, please do subscribe. I keep saying this, but the thing is, subscribing means more people come onto the channel, more people get to share this love of guitars. I'm always very, very happy to receive constructive feedback and comments from you. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this and that you'll look at some of the other videos. There are lots of them on the channel now, and enjoy them. Bye for now. Bye.